I wholeheartedly believe that the biggest problem when it comes to speaking, and I'm not just talking about speaking in a foreign language, in a language that you don't fully feel comfortable in, even in your native language, the biggest problem that gets in the way of your speech is overthinking. And I'm speaking about this from the heart because this is something that I have been experiencing all day. So today, I wanted to record a video. I have been preparing the entire morning to make sure all of the script is ready. I have my bullet points. I have really internalized the content. But when it comes to actually putting the camera on, I press record. I just keep on stumbling my words. I can barely get past half of the video. I can barely get past the intro. And to me, this is really frustrating because I put so much effort in preparing. I even washed my hair. Now it's looking very nice. I put makeup on. I have all of my materials ready. So I should be ready, right? But I do believe that I think getting everything perfect for the recording day or the recording moment is actually counterproductive because this is actually giving me a lot more pressure. And putting a lot of pressure on yourself when you're speaking is actually the cardinal sin. This is actually the one thing that is actually going to break down your speech. So I have spoken about this so much in my videos where in order for you to speak comfortably in a second language in English, in a higher pressure situation, let's say when you're speaking to a native speaker or speaking to a person whose English is better than you, or even in an exam, the way that you can get past the situation is that lower the pressure on yourself. Because when you put a lot of pressure on yourself, where you tell yourself that you have to sound perfect, you have to use all of these fancy words, you have to pass the exam, when you put so much pressure on yourself, you're gonna put your brain in performative mode. And this is exactly also the mistake that I've been doing all day. When the camera is on, when I'm my makeup is good, my hair is great, all the script is ready there, that puts me in performative mode. So after an ungodly amount of takes, I've decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna ditch the script and I'm just gonna talk about something else completely different. I'm probably going to try to record that same script again tomorrow when I feel a bit more refreshed. And here I am speaking so comfortably, just with my phone, unscripted. And this is me just speaking from the heart with no preparation, and my words are just coming out I just keep on yapping. I just can't stop talking now. To me, it's so crazy how simple the solution is, but it's so difficult to implement. It's you have to feel so shit about yourself first for always stumbling your words, and you're starting to question yourself. Maybe I'm not really cut out for this. Maybe I'm not as intelligent as I seem. But it's really just your own thoughts that are so loud that you cannot even hear yourself speak in reality. It's your mind. Your mind is too loud. Shut it out. Shut it down. Okay? The other day, I was speaking to a student of mine. Let's call her Sarah. Okay? This is her fake name. She's quite low profile and she doesn't like having her name and her face shown. But basically, I'm just gonna use her story. Sarah is a highly educated, very intelligent, high-skilled Indonesian that is living in an English-speaking country, and she's working at a big company as a researcher. Needless to say, she's a very intelligent woman. And she's also very fluent in English. And if you hear her speak, you'll probably think to yourself, why does she need to join an English-speaking program?
A very general conversation, they would understand where you, for example, where is my bottle? Oh yeah, the paper is there. Those kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right now is completely different. So I think that this extra program really helps a lot.
She's already very fluent. You would be surprised because usually a lot of fluent non-natives like Sarah or even myself, the problem is not so much about the lack of English or not knowing enough words. It's really the loudness of your mind that gets in the way. And this is exactly the problem that she was dealing with too. It's really overthinking.
Because you speak English very well now, you're actually fluent already. What was it? What made you want to join despite your fluency? What were the problems that you were facing?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the general problem is overthinking, a lot of overthinking, because I remember when I had the session with Atta, I think the problems that I was facing was always put someone on a pedestal. That was another thing that I mentioned like a couple of times, right? I mean, like, because all of these people, they are like PhD, they are master graduates, you know. As me, I'm just like bachelor undergraduates person.
So she's working at a research department in her company where, of course, a lot of her colleagues are equally highly educated with fancy degrees behind their names. And that made her feel quite intimidated. She puts these people on a pedestal. And then going through our program, my coaching assistant Atalia reminded her that, Sarah, remember, you're just as intelligent as skilled as these people. You are literally in the same room as them. Stop putting them on the pedestal. They're just the same as you. And that is the truth, right? But the story that Sarah keeps on telling herself is that, oh, I am an Indonesian and my English is not as good as these people, so she puts herself down. No, she didn't put herself down, but she just brings these people a little bit too, like she perceives these people a little bit too high, putting on a pedestal, basically. And this is the reason why she often feels not unconfident whenever she speaks.
I think this motivation comes from Atta in a way, and also from you, of course, Naila. But then she keeps on telling me,
Sarah,
you are in the same company as them. Okay, they are like more prepared, they are more expertise, but you are in the same company as them. You know, why should you think about it that way? And that it makes me realize that, oh yeah, bener juga ya. I mean, yeah, it's actually quite true. Why, you know? So yes, the idea of this overthink, it makes me like it's actually like giving me all this fear, all this nervousness. And then anytime if I talk to them, I become nervous. Like my messages sometimes is not well structured. It was just like not the
Sarah,
that I would see myself if I talk to Indonesian. That, for example, like yeah.
And this is a problem that a lot of non-native speakers who are fluent in English are facing. It's not your lack of intelligence, is not the lack of vocabulary, is not knowing enough grammar. You can speak, you are fluent, you are skilled, you're a user of English, but it's just learning how to quiet your mind and trusting yourself that you have the ability to speak and to get your message across. It's learning to recalibrate or like recenter your focus on the message that you're trying to say to the people that are listening to you, to your audience. Right now, I don't even care about messing up my words or even not caring about whether or not I'm making grammatical errors and all that. My purpose in this video is just to remind you to stop overthinking. How do you do that? You can do it multiple ways. The way I lower the pressure on myself to stop overthinking is, first, I turn off the camera and I ditch my camera for my phone, because the camera gives off this super professional look sometimes and it just puts me in a bit of like a spotlight, you know? And then I was recording the video in my office, and right now it's just like, let me go to a place where I feel a bit more myself, which is my bedroom, where I am being accompanied by my fluffy friends all over me. There. So that's how I lower the pressure for myself. And there are many different ways to calm yourself down. The most effective way is to actually take a deep breath in and out. I don't know what it is about breathing that always seems to work to calm yourself down. I don't know what it is. But anyways, breathing always works. Some people prefer to, like, let's say, calm themselves down, meditate, but others prefer to re-energize themselves. Let's say you can actually do a little bit of cardio with like these little dumbbells and like, get your blood flowing, be energetic. Sometimes to calm myself down, I would play my guitar to get myself in that like joyful mood so that I can show up a lot more cheerfully in front of the camera. There are many ways to calm yourself down. Another way would be to reaffirm yourself, to remind yourself that you actually do have the ability, you are skilled, you just need to speak. So whatever it is, if you always find yourself feeling so nervous to the point that you cannot even speak, that you completely freeze, experiment with different ways to calm yourself down. For me, it's being with my kids, like this. So I hope that you enjoy my short unscripted video. I hope that if you were to get anything from this video is to please drill this in your brain. You have the ability to speak. You can speak in English. You know enough words. What you need to do is to just quiet your mind down. Stop overthinking and shift the focus from being performative, where you have to speak so perfectly. You're gonna have to sound smart, thinking about how you're being perceived by the listener. Just focus on the message and what is the purpose of you speaking today. Have that drilled in your mind. I'll see you next time on another video. Until then, take care and good luck. Good luck. What you say is good luck.